Howdy folks, Jambareeqi here. One of the things that I really enjoy about doing this show is that it gives me an opportunity to talk about animated films you've probably never even heard of, like The King and the Mockingbird, a film that inspired the likes of Peter Lord, Hayao Miyazaki and Isao Takahata. There probably wouldn't be a Studio Ghibli if it wasn't for this film. The King and the Mockingbird is a French hand-drawn animated movie inspired by the Hans Christian Andersen story, The Shepherdess and the Chimney Sweep. Charles XVI, a cruel and self-obsessed monarch, rules over the kingdom of Tachycardia. The king is in love with a shepherdess, but she has strong feelings for a chimney sweep. After the shepherdess and chimney sweep run away together, the king demands for her capture and intends to force her into marriage. It's up to a goofy and charming Mockingbird to help the young lovers avoid the king's men and defeat Charles once and for all. This film is pretty much one long chase scene. That does sound like a very redundant structure for a film, but the director is very creative. He knows when to make things tense, he knows when to make things exciting. He's a very imaginative individual. So there's a lot of action and adventure in this movie because of that. I love the environment for this film. The kingdom that the movie is set in has a lot of scope and scale that makes it very majestic, but also mysterious and haunting at some parts as well. I like how it's a combination of modern aesthetics, period fairy tale, and dystopian future. It creates a really unique setting for a movie. This is a very reserved and nuanced film. A lot of the scenes are very quiet and slow. This does work for the most part. I mean, when a scene needs to be very atmospheric or creepy or spooky or mysterious, then it works because the film is taking its time to let you soak in the world around you. But there are moments where it doesn't work and it comes off as really sluggish. There is a particular scene that feels like it drags on and on and on. It's in a lion den and the Mockingbird is trying to convince the lions to join them to fight the king, and it just goes on and on and on and on. It's really dreary and you get fed up of the Mockingbird rambling on and on and on. So this choice of pacing, mood and tone can really work for the film's advantage, but at the same time, it can also hold the film back. The Mockingbird is a very loud, arrogant and chatty character, but I can find a lot of charm to his self-confidence. I really like him, he's very fun, he's very entertaining. He's suave, intellectual and educated. At the same time, he knows all the twists and turns of the kingdom, and he uses this knowledge to his advantage to help save the chimney sweep and shepherdess. The king is a very narcissistic, egotistical and horrible piece of work. He's a cruel, brutish man. And you know what? That's what makes him so fun. He's like a pantomime villain. You always want to boo when you see him. And I just love watching him suffer. I love watching him fail. I love watching him lose his dignity. I will admit that the shepherdess and the chimney sweep aren't exactly interesting characters. They're very one-note and not as entertaining or fun as the other characters. But what we can connect to as an audience is their believable romance. Right from the get-go, it's clear that they're madly in love with each other. And it's adorable. They make such a cute couple, and you end up rooting for them. You want them to stay together. You just keep thinking, go away, king, go away, piss off, let them be, let them be. Something you may have noticed based on the clips I've shown from the film is that this movie looks really, really old. It looks like an early Disney or Fleischer Brothers film from the 1930s. But it's actually from the 1980s. Yeah, this is an 80s movie, and I think that this distinct style and look really makes it seem different from all the other 80s cartoons. As for the animation itself, it is beautiful. It is jaw-droppingly breathtaking. If you're an animation student, you need to see this film. It's like one big lesson on how to do graceful, elegant and refined animation. Every nod, expression, subtle movement or gesture has so much passion, care and detail behind it. There's precision to every little movement. It's wonderfully charismatic and gorgeous. Even if the story for this film doesn't appeal to you, you might as well see this movie just for the animation. I watched this film in its original French cut. I'm not very confident at pronouncing French words or French names. I have a very big, loud British accent. So keep this in mind when I pronounce these French actors' names, and I apologise in advance if I say any of them wrong. Jean Martin is really jolly and cheerful in the role of the Mockingbird. He adds so much life, pizzazz and energy to the character.
Multicolore.
Vous savez voler aussi, j'espère.
Oh, voilà une question. Jugez-en plutôt.
Pascal Mazzotti is really wormy and seedy as the king. He comes across as very sleazy and captures the narcissism of the character so well.
Je vous aime, petite bergère, et je suis le roi. Alors, ne perdez pas votre temps avec ce charbonnier. Je suis le roi, je vous aime. Nous devons nous marier. Chose est claire, il n'y a pas à hésiter.
Renaud Marx and Agnès Violet are really youthful in the roles of the chimney sweep and the shepherdess. Their delivery is so soulful and actually bolsters the romance between them.
Et toi, qui aimes-tu?
Moi, je n'aime que toi. Et toi?
Moi, c'est pareil. Je n'aime que toi aussi. Tu es le plus gentil ramoneur que j'ai jamais connu.
Tu es la plus jolie bergère que j'ai jamais vue.
Now, there is an English dub available for this movie, and I will admit that the English dub isn't as compelling or delightful as the French cut. To me, the English cast sounds awkward and wooden. It's like listening to an Edward D. Wood Jr. movie.
Yes, I said it once and I'll say it again. You're a murderer. And that's not all. You're a nasty old scarecrow. That's right, a nasty old scarecrow. Really now, just what gives you the right to do such a thing? You think you can shoot at poor, helpless creatures and still be called His Majesty?
You miserable bird, how dare you!
The music for this film is very quaint and pretty. It's lovely to listen to and captures the enchanting tone of the film. It sounds whimsical, but not too whimsical. It's the right level of whimsy. The film's use of silence is a double-edged sword. On the one hand, the silence can support the film by making it come across as atmospheric, but at the same time, there are scenes where you feel as if music could have bolstered the moment, especially when a scene is supposed to be gripping, exciting, or tense. It's as if the silence almost kills the moment because, well, you feel as if music should be there. The King and the Mockingbird is a lovely and charming movie with wonderful characters and powerful animation. Yeah, it can get a bit slow and sluggish at some points, but for the most part, it's a very enchanting and sweet movie. If you're wanting to see something contemporary, traditional, energetic and loud, then this isn't the movie for you. But if you want to see something soft, delicate and cute, then you're gonna love The King and the Mockingbird. I'm going to give this film 4 crowned strawberries out of 5. And if you enjoyed such early Disney movies as Snow White or Sleeping Beauty, then The King and the Mockingbird is totally your cup of tea. I've been Jambareeqi, and I hope you enjoyed my review. If you did, then let me know by clicking the like button below. Have you seen The King and the Mockingbird? If you have, then let me know what you thought of it in the comment section below. If you haven't seen The King and the Mockingbird, then do you want to see it? Do you not want to see it? And why? Now, what shall I review in the next episode? Your Majesty! Panic or Village? A town called Panic? Oui, Panic or Village. Well, you heard His Highness. In the next episode, I'm going to review A Town Called Panic. Cheerio, folks. Jambareeqi, I create new theme song for you. Oui, goes like this. Jambareeqi, examine.